Okay, before I start, this was the Sunday that we went to Disneyland, and sorry that I didn't say it, but yeah, it was a Sunday, and we went to Disneyland, just to make sure. Alrighty, let's jump back into the video. Bye! Okay, so I went with my AVA class to Disneyland, and it was so much fun, but I'll go into further depth in the video. But before we had to have a group, so there was our leader, highlighter man, and there was me, my 2 friends, and 7 other students. And before we got on the bus, we took this pic. Okay, so we had to line up with our groups for the bus, and there was only one bus. And luckily enough, we all fit. So me and my friend sat in the back, and some kid from our group joined us. When we sat in the back, it was the worst bus ride experience I've ever had. But besides the bumpiness, it was a fun time going over there. So once we got there, we parked in the parking lot, but we didn't get on the bus to go to Disneyland, so we had to walk all the way over there. It was so hot that day, and we were all tired when we got to the park. But after we got inside, we had to wait in line to get inside, and after our leaders had to get a head count to make sure we were all there. After, we waited in line for a picture of all of us. Once we took our picture, we decided to go to the Star Wars land. The first ride we got on was Mission Smugglers. It was pretty cool. The wait time was about 15 minutes long, but it was all worth it. So our group of 11 was split up. 5 people went on one ship while the other 6 of us were together. So I was a gunwin, which was pretty cool because all I had to do was smash the glowing buttons. And after that, we went to Critter Country. So, you'll never believe what ride we got on at Critter Country. It was Splash Mountain, and it doesn't look so bad until you're on the ride. So the line was about 65 minutes, which is still pretty good, and we got split up again. But once we were seated in the log, we knew there was no way of coming back off. So it was pretty normal in the beginning. We were all hyped up until it was the time for the medium drop. We all were scared. We even screamed. But it was only a small fraction of what was about to come. We went through the little dark ride section until the lift hill. We all started feeling scared, but there it was, the 50-foot drop. We all held on tight, and once they took our picture, we all started screaming. The front person overcome by a wave of water, the middle person holding on tight, and me and my friend flying in the back. But once we made it, we were safe. We went back to the start of the ride, and then after that, we were seeking more adventurous rides. So we went to Adventureland. The next ride we got on was Indiana Jones. But I hate that ride, so once we were in line, I was already scared. Then, once we were almost getting on the ride, I started to panic a lot, so I didn't go on the ride. Thankfully, my friend came with me, and we didn't go on the ride. So we waited for them to come off the ride at the exit, and after that, we all were starting to get hungry. So after that, we went to go eat at the Golden Horseshoe, and all the other kids were asking if I was okay after I panicked at Indiana. 2 girls from our group took a video of us at lunch, and while we were eating, you'll never believe who we saw. We saw Princess Tiana, and we were all excited, and she even waved at us. We all got excited to see her, until she left. Then after that, we went to Frontierland. So you'll never believe what other mountain we got on. Correct, Thunder Mountain, and right after we ate. So Highlighter Man sat out with Sister on this ride, so it was only us kids. I didn't want to get on the ride at first, but then a girl from our group convinced me to go on it. So I sat way in the back with my friend, and it started pretty well. Right? until we went up the first lift hill, and me and my friend were yelling at her because she said there were no drops. And once we were going down the spiral, I hated it at first. Then I enjoyed the ride. It was a fun roller coaster. And after that, the kids in their group saw the huge mountain Matterhorn. And so we went over to go wait in line. It was a 55-minute wait. So the kids who were going on the ride got some things from the vendor next to the line. The people who were staying were me, my friend, and Highliner Man. And while we were waiting for them to get off the ride, we went to go get some food too. And once the other kids were off the ride, we went to go on the ride right next to it. So we went to Autotopia, and the line was pretty fast, but it was full of the smell of gas. But when we were in line, it looked so cool. And once we got there, we were so excited. But we had to get in the car and put our seatbelts. And I went with my friend, of course. And after that was the wild ride. And since we were in the area, we decided to go to Star Tours. The wait was like half an hour. When we went on the ride, it was pretty fun. Then there's not much to say about the ride. So that's all. After that, we decided to get a little spooked. So we went to the Haunted Mansion. The wait was like 15 minutes. Highliner Man had a book of things to look for on rides. He said there was a hidden Mickey and a Donald Duck. But I won't tell you where they are because they're only for true Disney fans. And once we got on the ride, I went with my friend. And once we were on, she asked, "Are there any drops?" And I said yes. And so when you're on the part where you're going down the slope slow, I told her we're about to drop. And she was all prepared. But there wasn't any. I was just messing around with her. And during the ride, we both had fun looking at the animatronics. Although it did break down like 3 times, but we still enjoyed it. After that, we wanted to go on the Winnie the Pooh ride. The wait was about 30 minutes, and we saw an Elsa duck at the entrance. And we saw on each of the carts at the bottom, there was a name. And once we went on the ride, we had a lap bar, and so I was so scared if there was any drops on the ride. I say this because Thunder Mountain had lap bars, but the ride was kind of disturbing, but good at the same time. And after Highliner Man asked us if we wanted to go back on Splash Mountain or Thunder Mountain, and we chose Thunder Mountain. So we were going on our last ride, so we had to run over to Thunder Mountain, and the wait was like 30 minutes, and we all got on this time. But the only difference this time was that we sat in the front cart. And I sat with, well, you already know. So the girl who we yelled at on our first ride, sorry. But she said it wasn't that bad, but it was. But I was so scared and hated it so much. When we went up the lift hill, I told my friend to shut up because I knew it was gonna be bad. I had my eyes closed the whole entire time, and I hated when we went up and down the ride because I felt myself flying when we were going up and fall hard when we were going down. After the ride, we were all good from rides. And after, we found the other group of my AVID teacher. So we headed to the shop with them. We went to the shop and I had a hard time saying what to get. But my mom wanted a fan, so I had to get her one. And then I got a Stitch and almost checked out. Then I decided not to get it. After that, I got another fan for myself, and I didn't want it either. So then I saw them, Space Mountain ears, and I got them and ran to the line. And when I checked it out, I felt the biggest achievement in my life. And after that, I took a little photo shoot. And yeah, after we met up at the fire station and took a head count, and after we left the park. But we walked back to the bus with one of our friends, with Jay, and the one that sat with me all the time. And we sang Nobody Like You when we were walking. But our other friend lost her voice due to screaming on the rides. And then we went on the bus, but we sat at different spots. The bus ride home was pretty quiet, but we were texting each other, seeing who we sat next to. And then we went back to school to see our parents lined up at the gate, waiting to pick us up. It was a fun day, a day that was fun and scary. And it was very bittersweet writing this and recording this, but I guess every good thing must come to an end. But I had another field trip the next day. I've never met nobody like you. Have friends and I have buddies, it's true, but they don't turn my tongue.